First of all, when you are battling cancer, every day matters. Having your family around matters. Let me introduce Ofelia Torres. She's 16 years old. She's battling cancer, stage 4. For the past few months, Ofelia has had her father to lean on. She says her dad, Ruben Torres Maldonado, has been her main caretaker. Ophelia's family says he's even drained the fluid from her abdomen at least twice a day. That's part of her treatment. Her dad is now not by her side because he's in an immigration detention center. Here's Ofelia describing what happened. She made this video for social media.
On December 5th, 2024, I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma. And about a month ago, we found out that the cancer was growing through my treatment, and I've spent the last month in the hospital. On October 17th in the evening, I was discharged, and I'm spending the weekend at home, but I will be back on Monday. And my dad, Ruben Torres, has been the main parent who watches my brother while I stayed at the hospital. Sometime on October 18th, 2025, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., he was detained by ICE at a Home Depot in Niles, Illinois, specifically the one on Dempster. As of right now, we do not have any information on what happened while he was detained. We only know that his car was left in the parking lot, and this is a video of the state of his vehicle. My dad, like many other fathers, is a hardworking person who wakes up early in the morning and goes to work without complaining, thinking about his family. I find it so unfair that hardworking immigrant families are being targeted just because we're not born here. Thankfully, we have been blessed to know people who jumped on this case immediately. Sadly, that's not the case for all families, and that's why I'm making this video, to spread awareness and remind the public that immigrants are humans with families and deserve to be treated with love and respect just like anyone else.
Now, the president promised to target and deport the worst of the worst. Remember that? The drug dealers, the killers, the rapists. Well, what does the Department of Homeland Security say about Torres? Well, here's the statement. This is from DHS. Torres had a criminal history of habitual driving offenses and has been charged multiple times with driving without insurance, driving without a valid license, and speeding. And also during his arrest, he did not comply with instructions from the officers and attempted to flee in his vehicle and backed into a government vehicle. This case has now gone before a judge, and late yesterday, a judge ruled that the detention of Torres was unlawful and in violation of his due process. But Torres is still in custody. Kalman Resnick is with us. He's the family's attorney. Attorney Resnick, thank you for being with me. First, let's just start with where I ended off. If his detention is unlawful, why is he still in custody this morning?
What is the judge found unlawful was mandatory detention. The ICE's interpretation of the law post Trump's becoming president changed last month, and what the Board of Immigration Appeals issued a decision that said people like Ruben, who entered without status to the United States, are not eligible for bond. And what the judge found is that is unlawful. It's a violation of the immigration statutes and due process of law. And now what we're going to have is a bond hearing before an immigration judge within the next 6 days now, where the immigration judge will decide the conditions of release. What bond will the family have to pay in order to secure his release from detention? Yeah. And then the proceedings will continue, but without him being detained. And in those proceedings, Ruben is eligible to apply for lawful permanent residence based on how long he's lived here and the hardships his removal would cause his children.
And the hardship is obvious because he's a caretaker for a 16-year-old with stage 4 metastatic rhabdomyosarcoma, which is an aggressive soft tissue cancer. What do you know, if anything, about how Ofelia is doing now? Because I know that she's put her treatment on pause What do you know about her condition?
She didn't put her treatment on pause. She went to the hospital on Monday,
Oh.
and doctors found that her emotional and physical condition after the weekend of detention of her father was not good enough for her to continue with the chemotherapy. So they postponed the chemo, and we're hoping that her dad will be back very soon, and she will be in a condition to continue treatment at Lurie's Children's Hospital in Chicago.
Appreciate the clarification there. I also learned from that video and from reading about this family, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that Mr. Torres is the sole earner for this family. And if
Yeah.
he is deported, there's a GoFundMe, but medical bills and legal bills can run through that quickly. What's next for this family if he is forced to leave the country?
Poverty, loss of their home that they own because they won't be able to pay the mortgage. The mother of Ofelia was working, but she had to stop working to take care of her children. And so the father, on the day he was detained at a Home Depot, was doing side jobs in home repair and home renovation to make money to pay medical bills of his daughter.
You heard my intro here where the president promised the worst of the worst. And when asked about Mr. Torres, they cited his traffic infractions in the past. What's your response, your reaction to the characterization of your client and how that reconciles with what the administration promised would be their targets?
We're talking here about the best of the best, not the worst of the worst. And let me tell you, I've had driving offenses and tickets. Does that make me a criminal? This is a ridiculous way in which the government is trying to villainize immigrants. And our country is a country of immigrants. I'm the son, grandson, and great-grandson of immigrants. We need to defend our immigrant neighbors, not let them be targeted by our government as if they were bounty hunters out to get them, these people with masks who have no consideration of what damage they're doing to families.
Kalman Resnick, finish your answer.
No, I hope that this case will help educate the American people about what is happening and that they will demand that our government stop these attacks on immigrant families.
Kalman Resnick, attorney for Mr. Torres, thank you. And we, of course, will follow this story and Ophelia's condition very closely.